Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Jessica Altieri, your CEO of WineChannelTV and host for New Zealand Wine Day, sponsored by Complexity. And in case you don't know, Complexity combines 21 fine wineries from 8 wine regions and 59 fine wines of New Zealand and is spearheaded by Janet Pouchot as the campaign manager. Today we're joined by Helen Masters of Ata Rangi as we're preparing for New Zealand Wine Day on February 5th at 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll be live from Chicago and have bloggers joining in from the San Francisco Kiwi Club and also from Oriole, New York City. But welcome, Helen. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Where are you in New Zealand? It looks bright and sunshiny.
Yeah. It's only about sort of 2 o'clock here, so it is midday, and it's summer, and I'm in Martinborough, which is a tiny wine region just north of Wellington, which is at the bottom of the North Island. So just a very small wine region, about 1.5% of New Zealand's total production. So a really lovely little wine village.
Yeah, and so can you give us a brief background on yourself in case people don't know a little bit about you?
Okay, so I guess I'm the winemaker here at Ata Rangi, and I've been here for about 9 years. Another winery in Martinborough, and then different places, quite a lot of places in the States actually. I worked different vintages before coming back to Martinborough. So I guess my passion is Pinot Noir, so that's why I'm here in Martinborough, I guess.
And so talk to us about your winery specifically.
Okay, Martinborough is a tiny region, so very much the region is confined to one small terrace. So there's a lot of small wineries here, and Ata Rangi is one of the original wineries that planted 30 years ago, when the region was sort of discovered as being, sort of identified as being a premium wine growing region. So it's a family-owned winery, so a great place to work in terms of being able to make really wines that we feel very passionate about, rather than just, we make the ones that we love, I guess, yeah.
I wish I was there right now on a chilly day in Chicago and I hear the birds chirping behind you. It sounds fantastic. And as we're getting ready for New Zealand Wine Day, a big point that we really want to stress and make is that New Zealand is so much more than Sauvignon Blanc, as you mentioned Pinot Noir. What wines would you say that you are most well known for, and what makes you so unique?
Okay, I guess most of our production is Pinot Noir, and I think that for Martinborough, the wines are quite special. I think in New Zealand's an exciting region because there is lots of different expressions of different wines. So Pinot Noir is made in lots of different regions, and Martinborough, I think, is quite a unique expression. We also make Chardonnay as well, which I really love making, and I think that New Zealand Chardonnays are very exciting. In fact, I think that's sort of one thing to look out for. I think the depth and interest in New Zealand Chardonnays is quite exciting. I think and within the complexity, there's some really exciting Chardonnays there as well. But so Pinot Noir is...
Yeah, and a big buzzword out now, and especially with New Zealand, is biodynamics and sustainability. So can you talk to us a little bit about that and in New Zealand?
Yeah, sure. Well, I guess fairly early on, we realised that New Zealand, we're such a small country, so far away, such a beautiful country. If you've been here, you'll realise just how clear the air is. That, having sustainability was really part of what we needed to do as a whole nation, not just the wine growing industry as well. And it's really been embraced, and you'll find that from sort of 2011 onwards, most wineries have some form of sustainability, and a lot more now organic, biodynamic. It's something that everybody's doing, and I think what makes it quite exciting here is New Zealand it's quite windy, so we actually have less disease issues, so it enables us to be, I guess, perhaps not have some of the issues of a more humid, more continental climate, because we are so windy that, you might have some rain and a few days later the canopy is nice and dry again. So we really do have a climate that really works for being quite sustainable. So we've really, a lot of the time, got no excuse.
And so you mentioned Complexity, though, is bringing together all these fabulous 21 fine wineries from New Zealand. What does it mean to you to be a part of this group?
Well, there's some great minds in there and some really people who have been making great wine for a long time, have a lot of experience. And because a lot of us are, there's a mixture of smaller wineries, larger wineries, and especially for the smaller wineries, we have to work together. And I think that's really part of a culture of New Zealand, is working together as a team. And actually, it means that we can get out and talk to more people, but also have some fun together and share. Make it a more fun experience for ourselves, because just getting on a plane on your own and landing somewhere where you don't know anyone is not a lot of fun. But when you're doing it with a group of people who are really passionate, who've got the same message of trying to make really exciting, interesting wines, it's a lot more fun for us too. And it ends up being a lot more fun for the people who will be telling a story of fine New Zealand wines too as well. So, we had the event in Denver, and it was just great to hang out with with a lot of the people there. Well, nearly, everybody has got something exciting to offer in terms of not just their wine, but also the knowledge that they have in different ways as well. So, it's been lovely. It's been good.
Yeah, the event in Denver, as you mentioned, was a huge success, and I think it's all going to translate here into New Zealand Wine Day and beyond. And so I wanted to ask you a personal question, because I could see your energy, from being in the wine business for a while. Who has really inspired you in the wine business?
Well, that's a really interesting question. I guess I knew I wanted to be a winemaker from very early on in my life, so when I was still at high school. And I guess my family, first of all, were very interested in wine. And then when I was sort of 15, 16, I worked for a caterer who had a great wine cellar, and I remember doing the stock take and not being able to read these amazing French labels. And so I've been lucky enough to be around a lot of people who've been interested in wine. And since then, a lot of people in the wine industry are incredibly interesting and really giving of their knowledge. So it's been a lot of the early pioneers to start with. When I was setting out in the industry, I used to read all the magazines, who was doing what, and very geeky.
I'm the same way.
So it's been a lot of people on a different level in terms of how open and sharing of their knowledge they've been. And I guess if I'd walked into the industry and no one would tell me anything, I probably would have backed off. But as a young person interested, it's an incredibly it's so complex and so layered that along the way there's been I guess my first job in the wine industry was actually here at Ata Rangi. So, before I went to university. Yes, no, I got out, I wrote all these little sweet letters, as you do when you're 17, saying I'd really like to work in your winery, please. And they were nice enough to say, yeah, why not? And so I had a brilliant year working in the vineyard and in the winery, and then went on to do my study after that and working at a winery. So I guess I've come back to where I first started from, and I have to, I guess, hand a lot to Clive and Phil and Ellie at Ata Rangi for giving me that break.
Yeah, so, that's simply remarkable. And I want to thank you so much for your time today. It was an absolute pleasure speaking with you. And again, I'm looking forward to New Zealand Wine Day. Everyone mark your calendars. It's going to be on February 5th at 7 p.m. Central Time. And for more information, make sure to visit complexity.co.nz, or on Facebook, check out New Zealand Wine Day. Thank you so much, Helen, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you again soon.
Thanks, Jess. See you.
Cheers.